Hey guys, this is Mokshit and in this video, I'll be creating a multilingual website using Drupal. So first, let's see what a multilingual website is. Multilingual website is a website that supports multiple languages and is not limited to one language. It is used to make the website accessible by people who don't know the default language of the website. It is useful in many cases, for example, for a media and news website, since it enables more people to read the news and the media in their preferred language and increase the number of audience. It is also useful for business website for their growth of the business. So now let's see how to create a multilingual website using Drupal. This is my Drupal website and it is hosted on the local host. So first let us change the name of our Drupal website. For that I'll go to configuration, basic site settings, and change the site's name to languages. I'll save it and I'll go back to the site. So in Drupal 8, Drupal provides us with the modules to change the website. So they are present in Drupal core. So but we have to enable them since they are disabled by default. So for that I've gone to extend, and here as we can see under multilingual there are 4 modules which are provided by default since they are in Drupal 8 in the Drupal 8 core, and I'll just install them. So as we can see, 4 modules have been enabled. So now we'll have to go to configuration to add the languages to our website. So for that we'll go to configuration, and in the regional and language, the 4 modules we have installed have now come here. So first we'll have to go to languages, and here we can add the languages which we want in our Drupal website. So English is by default, and the other languages which I'll be installing are Hindi, okay. So Hindi has been added, and I'll add another language, Spanish. Let's see, Spanish. Okay, so Spanish is also being added. Okay, so both Hindi and Spanish have been downloaded. So now we'll go to detection and selection. So here we have options for how Drupal can see which language is to be enabled. So there are many options like account administration pages. So which language the administration pages have will be set to the Drupal website. And then there is the URL. So how URL works is like, for example, right now it is at localhost. So if I change it to Hindi, it will become localhost/hi or whichever prefix I want. Sorry. Yeah, so I can change it to Hindi or anything I want. And for example, the same goes for Spanish. I can also change it for Hindi. For English, I can set it to en, but English is set to the default language, so I don't need to do that. But if we set any other language to the default, then English will get the prefix en. Then there is the domain. So how domain works is, for example, there is a website, for example, example.com. So the domain will change to, for Hindi, hi.example.com. But I can't enable it since I'm on localhost, and it can't be there on localhost. So I'll just save it. Then there is also the session and the user. So the language the user has set, the browser's language settings, for example the Chrome or Edge language setting, and then the language setting, selected language, the language which the user has selected. So okay, and we also have all these other settings which we can change if you want. I'll change it, so it is the content language. So here we can set the different areas or the entities of a Drupal website which we want to be translated when the language is switched. So I'll keep the content to be translated, and we can also keep the other things such as the comments. So the comments which a person does on our website will also be translated. The file, the media, the user, and all. Okay, so I'll select these all. I'll save it. There is also the user interface translation, so I can change the words to which it will be translated in different languages. Like I can change how forms is translated. I can put anything here I want. I can import the translations if I have any translation file, and I can export the translations which were downloaded and all. And then there is also the configuration translation. I can configure all these. I would be keeping them to default. So now we can go to content and add some content. So first I'll be going to structure. Since I don't want this language multilingual feature on all of my Drupal content, I'll be creating a separate content type on which I can enable the multilingual feature. So I'll add the content type. I'll keep it to multilingual. Use this to add multilingual feature. Okay, that's fine. I don't need that. This is fine. I'll save it. Okay, so by default, when we create a new content type, we only get a body field, which means that only the text can be displayed. But I will also add another field of image, since I also want to add an image to my content. Let's keep it to language. Okay, it's fine. Save it. Okay, so that's fine. Now we can add some content. Add the content. This is the content type which we just created. Choose it, and okay, so here I'll add a title. So since my website is on language, I'll create the content of different languages. Let's keep English, and I have the content I will be putting here, this code file. So the content of each different language has been translated to that language itself, so that we can check the multilingual feature on each of different languages. So this is for English. Okay, I'll add the image. English. Okay, let's save it. And the same way, I'll add some more content. Spanish. Last content, which will be of Hindi. Okay, I'll add the image. Hindi. Now we'll enable the translation for the content type which we just created. For that, we'll go to configuration, we'll go, and in languages, so no, I have to go to the content language and translation, and here I'll add the content type, multilingual content type which we just created, and I'll save it. Okay, it has been saved. When I reload it, yeah, I can see this translate to different languages, which I can is here. So okay, I'll go here back, and I'll go to home. So now we'll be going to structure, and we'll go to block layout. So first we'll check the region in which we will place our block. So each theme has different regions. I'm using the default Drupal theme, which is Batik. So it has all these regions in which I can place my block. So I will be placing my block in the sidebar region. So I'll exit it, and in the sidebar second region I'll place a block. So in this option there is a block called language switcher. It was created when we enabled the language module. So I'll place this block here. I can choose whether I want to display this title or not. I can also change this title completely. And then these are the languages which I chose. So these languages, if I select any of these languages will be set to default for that. So I'll just leave it as it is. Then these are the content types. If I don't choose any, it will be displayed on all the content types. But if I choose any one, then it will not be displayed. Then it will be displayed on only that content type. And it's just fine. And I will just save this block. Okay, so this block has been added. I'll just save these blocks. Okay, so the block has been placed. Now I'll refresh this home page. Okay, so as you can see in the sidebar second place, we have all these blocks. We have this block in which there are three options of all the three languages which we choose. By enabling the language, we also have an option in the content. When we add a content, any of these, for example the multilingual, now we also get a language option. So for example, all these were said when the language was set to English. So when I go to Hindi, as you can see, there is no content because none of the content was saved with the language set to Hindi. So if I edit this content, since it is written in Hindi, I'll change the language to Hindi and I'll save it. And this one is written in Spanish, so I'll do the same. I'll change this language to Spanish and I'll save it. So now, as we can see, the English section has the content which is written in English. The Hindi region has the content of Hindi, and Spanish has Spanish content. So if we go into any of these contents, we can see we still have that sidebar. So if I choose Hindi, for example, as we can see that the whole user interface of Drupal also changes to Hindi. It is unable to change this content to Hindi because the translation package of Drupal doesn't recognize these words to translatable. And if I change it to Spanish, again we can see that the user interface has changed but the content hasn't changed. The same goes for other contents also. If I go to Hindi, this is the Hindi content. So it was in the Hindi region, so all the user interface is by default to Hindi. If I change it to English, the same thing happens. Everything changes to English, but it doesn't change because Drupal doesn't recognize this as it can be translatable. And the same goes for Spanish also. Okay, you can see the same thing with the Spanish content. If I open it, the user interface is the only thing changing right now, and as I said earlier, the main issue for that is the translation package. So in this video I have shown how to add the multilingual feature to a Drupal website. So multilingual feature can be added to any Drupal website very easily. So thanks for watching.